morning.
Good morning, GMSONIC. How you doing today, Drac?
Doing pretty well, all things considered. Hanging on. Trying to hang on.
Hanging on by the skin of my freaking teeth here, dude. My freaking pinky finger, man. This is crazy, bro. What's happening, Dracula? Can you get Trump to stop acting so goddamn crazy?
I'll work on it. I'll put in some calls, I've been putting out some feelers, seeing if I can, have a chat with him, but nothing back yet, but we're making some progress, I think. I don't know, based on the kimono, I would think that your wallet's at an all-time high.
No, dude. This is I'm so depressed I can barely get out of bed. That's why it was so late, dude. I'm so depressed I can barely get out of bed. I can barely change my clothes, man. Look at my eyes. I'm hardly getting any sleep out here, guys. I'm up all night. I'm up here all night scraping for freaking 2% gains on freaking USDC on the day, okay? It's nightmarish. It's ghoulish out here.
It is a little ghoulish.
I can't lie. They can't. I think it'd be impossible to get 2% on your USDC on Sonic, dude. Everything's about 10-15% right now.
Yeah, that's definitely the nice part. I think better yield on stables than just about anywhere, so it feels good. Look
at this psychopath.
Base is very, very happy.
He's very happy about what, Benny?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the old Bitcoin weekly, not a beautiful chart right now. We were just chilling in this range for so long. Something was bound to happen. I mean, that's what happens when you bounce around. Look here, we were just bouncing around in this range, and then you finally have a violent leg up. So we were definitely due a violent leg up or down. Would have preferred for it to be up, of course. But there's just so much, markets hate uncertainty, and basically the markets have been chaos. So it's like, the tariff stuff, just like a ton of stuff on the macro, the tariffs, the Ukraine stuff.
I just got another look in the TG. Someone just posted a link to it. This is how news is disseminated nowadays. Now you're getting a TG. Someone posted a screen cap from Truth Social that has been posted on X.com, and it says, President Trump announces additional 25% tariffs. So yeah, look, it's every day now, dude. It's tariffs today. Tariffs. No, we're reducing them. No more tariffs. Now we're throwing the tariffs back on. It's whether or not, I don't know what is the reason behind this, dude. Is if we start reaching what seems like a local bottom, then we throw another tariff on?
Yeah, there's lots of speculation online, of course.
Sonic the Hedgehog, good morning. Thank you for
Good morning, Sonic the Hedgehog. There's a lot of speculation on, you have this thing that happens when Trump's in office where it's like people, you have to be like, is he doing something really crazy just to be crazy? Or you have the people that are like, no, he's playing 4D chess and there's this master plan. And I don't really know where we are right now. You know what I mean? I've seen several posts saying that this whole plan is to get the Fed to cut in the summer.
Well, I was going to say, I was looking at the number. It looked like we were about to see it hit 79 on stream. To cut to up rates in summer. You think he's playing chicken with my livelihood? He's using my livelihood to play chicken with the Fed to get them lower rates. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I really don't know. But yeah, there is like this kind of like, I guess I could say it's a conspiracy theory because I don't really know if there's any kind of truth behind it. But yeah, there is like this theory that it's like, oh, this is all to, get the Fed to cut, and then everything gets cheaper to borrow, and then the money starts flowing and risk on comes back and all that stuff. But I just don't know, honestly. To me, it almost just feels like just a lot of bad things kind of happen at the same time.
Yeah.
There are people out there, there are people out there comparing it to the COVID crash, which is crazy. At the end of the day, you got to chill out a little bit and realize that it was like a 20% move on Bitcoin.
It's like the classic. It's kind of like the CZ post, right? Remember when CZ made that tongue-in-cheek post where people are going to be complaining about Bitcoin crashing from 100,000 to 80,000.
Yeah.
It's good to keep perspective, but then again, in markets, everything is always relative, right? to where you were in the last like week, wherever you're relative to your entry, really.
Yeah. And you know, that's true. I mean, like, for instance, I truly hate this person's like online persona that it's like a
Shardy B.
Cardi B, but I trade or whatever. But he or she actually usually is pretty good with the charts. And I mean, you know, like it is kind of like you said, it's relative to like where your position is, because even though you know, we had a dip, you know, they're saying here, you know, if you look at it, it's bullish diversion on the daily, or divergence, I mean, on the daily. There was a gap to fill, which, you know, as they say, the gap will get filled regardless of what happens, and somehow it always does happen. So there was a gap that had yet to be filled, essentially saying that, you know, if this is the bottom here, this is actually kind of like a healthy move. And I've seen other people have like a similar sentiment where it's kind of like, actually, you know, this is like a correction. This isn't like a market crash. You know, if everything plays out how you would think, then we would probably just bounce off this. But it is concerning to watch Bitcoin right now, where it's like, I feel like this area, upper 70s, 80s, you know, even down here to the line that everybody's calling, you know, everybody's calling for 72. Those are all areas to me where we could have like a bounce to new all-time highs. But you know, we get down here into the 50s and everything, then I think it's time to like seriously start thinking about your strategy and like what you're doing. So it's kind of like a make or break time period right now. I feel like this week and probably next week, just going to be like really interesting to see what plays out. You know, stock market too, obviously, you know, not everybody that watches crypto watches the stock market, but there was a huge
S&P
crash.
Freaking got obliterated. Tesla down 36% on the month.
Yeah, I mean,
bust.
Crazy moves for the stock market as well. And I mean, this kind of volatility is unheard of, where, you know, yesterday it was what, down 500 points or I don't know, something crazy. Then overnight, the losses are completely like absolved. The chart goes all the way up back to green. I read that before I like went to sleep last night. It was like, oh man, like, see, we're totally safe. We're good, right? Well, this is how volatile it is by the time I woke up, they said never mind.
Wow.
It gained all its points back. Now it's all the way back down, and in fact, lower than it's been, you know, since like February or whatever.
I think we really have to start considering whether or not the Trump meme coin virus has permeated the entire economy. Every single asset class is going to be trading using the new Trump pattern.
Yeah, everything just trades like a meme chart now. So,
and I got to say this to Mendoza. See, lo siento, no tienes hierba, brother. Sorry about that. And now you'll never be able to leave your neighborhood because every asset is going to zero.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show you, though, that, I mean, you know, we were having this nice little run up before all this. This is why I tend to lean towards like this is kind of like a temporary move. You know, we were just having this crazy march up in crypto leading up to all this kind of like bad macro stuff. And I think this is just like more like a reaction. And I think that we stabilize and we continue to move. Worst case scenario, maybe we're held a little bit of hostage until something else happens, like, you know, cuts or rate cuts or whatever. But I don't believe we're done. I don't think we're entering the bear market. I think it's just too early to call that.
I think this is a bearish market, but I don't think it's going to be this multi-year long trend. Hopefully, I pray to God it's not, because then that's called a recession, because it's going to be across every sector, buddy. Because it's not like, because the way we're seeing this reaction play out across every single sector, right? It does seem like this is very related to the instability that we're feeling in the White House, Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
So I kind of hope that, I mean, that's all I can do, right? I'm not fucking Trump, dude. Who can rein in this guy? Nobody. Elon, not likely. But yeah, I think a lot of people are saying, a lot of smart people are saying, we got to just weather the storm for a couple months. We got Arthur Hayes here, whose predictions are not always on point, but I like reading his thoughts on it. They're pretty smart usually. Just in summary, 36% correction from 110 at all-time high down to like 70. So Bitcoin going to hit about 70K. Don't try to catch the knife per se until, if you're more risk averse, until the central banks start loosening the purse strings. Then you can feel a little bit more comfortable of a trend reversal. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying things about the trend reversal somewhere around 70. That's where a lot of people are betting.
Yeah.
But if we're going to be a little bit more psychological about this, we can say probably not going to happen at 70 if that's what everyone's betting on.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a little before or way after.
Yeah. I mean, and that's like, I had something here where I was talking to somebody about something else where, these like really strong lines, you usually end up with something like this, where everybody's looking at 72 right now, which means, 70, 72, people start flipping long, which means they're going to probably like crank it down to like 67, 68 just to liquidate a bunch of people. And then hopefully we move. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it is just that we're not just looking at Bitcoin, or we're not just looking at, crypto. Like, it's not like a bad week for crypto. It's like the entire market is just being absolutely nuked right now. So,
yeah. And what's the most unfortunate about this to me is it almost seems, look, I'm not going to say that Elon and Trump are colluding to destroy Sonic to protect their terrible bags. But it does seem like, we were getting a lot of steam. We're powering up. I mean, look, we're unstoppable. It's continuing to happen. But like right when we were getting ready to really pop off insano mode, this all happens. You notice that, Dracula?
Yeah, for sure. And there have been a lot of comments. I mean, like Sonic has actually, compared to a lot of the alt L1s and all that stuff, Sonic's actually hanging in there pretty well. Price is down everywhere for everybody, but it's held relatively strong. And looking at the chart here, same kind of deal where I'm like, yeah, I feel like we're kind of like in a make or break sort of territory. I think this still all just hinges more so on the macro and Bitcoin. Obviously fundamentals are still like really strong right now. Sonic quietly passed Hyperliquid, which I had said weeks ago that, when we passed Hyperliquid, if the market was, if the timeline was a little more lively right now, I think that Sonic passing Hyperliquid would have been like a nice hated event on the timeline. But kind of quiet from the Hyperliquid crew. I mean, Cardano, Charlie's Angels, they put up a fight. They argued, they trolled, they cried, then they finally accepted it. So yeah, nothing yet from the Hyperliquid side, but quietly past them. We're still increasing TVL. I mean, still on the month up 108% in TVL.
Hell, even on the week, we're still up 14%. I don't think anyone's got any numbers quite that close.
No, I would doubt it. I mean, yeah, like if you look at all the top chains,
no one's serious, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you got Say down there that did pretty good, but I mean, if you're talking like very top here, nobody's even close to the increase that Sonic has had. But we're finally nipping on the heels of Polygon. That's a big one. We need to do away with that, get past them. But I think a lot of this is the people, everyone kept talking about, like what Aave coming to Sonic is going to do for the chain, and it's this and that. And, you'd have people that are kind of like, oh, it's not going to do anything and blah, blah, blah. Well, Aave did actually end up slamming some TVL into the chain. Practically at launch, I think it had pulled in 30 or 40 million, shot up to like 70. And it says here that over the weekend, the TVL on Aave for Sonic nearly doubled just over the weekend.
Wow, that's crazy. Where did all this come from? What kind of psychopath has put $70 million into crypto when the market's down? Maybe a genius. Okay.
I mean, it's it's what people have been talking about. It's just kind of like the effect that it can have on your chain if it's done correctly, where there are a lot of people that just won't touch. There's a lot of like larger players and big money that the reality is they're only putting their money in maybe like less than 10 protocols total. And that's based on security, how they handle things, how and so Aave is one of those where people, sometimes people won't even interact with your chain unless Aave is there.
Yeah.
So it's a big one, and I think it's paid off. Like I said, we are, moving up the ladder still in terms of TVL.
It's like a stamp of approval. It's like some authenticity.
Yeah, for sure. Now, an account I enjoy, he kind of had some alpha here if you guys are looking for some action. Newsy Johnson says, there's always a bull run somewhere. I am in the Steam marketplace trenches. And look at that chart. Look at that action, that activity.
What is this trading? Is this Steam trading cards?
No, it's like CS:GO skins.
Oh yeah,
and like items from games and like that kind of stuff. So
if you're looking a lot, but yeah, my cousin who is like who's just now getting into crypto, like 2 years ago, CS:GO was doing like an update or something. Like it was like going from like one version to another. So like a bunch of like the item, like the loot boxes that were available in some whatever. Some of the loot boxes were going away essentially. And he was like, I gotta buy like $200 worth, dude. Like, cause like this shit's only gonna go up. And I was like, that's dumb as hell, but I'll be damned. He's a real NFT trader. That's what I'll say.
I know a guy that his entryway into crypto was because he made millions off like CS:GO items and skins, and he was looking for that next fix, and he brought his money into crypto from like making an insane amount of money off like CS:GO items, which is just crazy to me. So
that's awesome.
I feel like it's like the it's like the Vietnamese poker game of markets. You know what I mean? Like if you're just really dying to get into like that Steam marketplace underground, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay. I see. I thought Vietnamese poker game was like an expression I wasn't aware of, but you mean like it's like underground,
Yeah, it's like the seedy underworld of, trading. Like if you want to get in there.
I've always heard that some of the more successful traders are guys who get into trading through like literally like trading cards and like collectibles, but like the guys who are like, because the thing about it is like to be successful in that, you have to be like a real shark. Like you have to actually not care about like the actual, like I don't care I don't want to own a Charizard or whatever. Yeah. I want to trade a Charizard. Those guys apparently are really good at making money because they get really good at identifying the market's want for an asset.
Yeah, I mean, like Fallout Zone calls it here. He says gambling and MMO gaming are the gateway to crypto, and it's like it's so true. I mean, I meet so many people that or like even now, I know people that are still like they still flip like Pokemon cards and stuff. It's like you said, it's like
remember when Logan Paul was doing that?
Like, I mean, I just it is interesting too. Like you see it transfer over. I've seen so many projects kind of try like loot boxes and packs and that kind of stuff. But
yeah, they want to gotchify the game. They want to turn that gamblefy on. Speaking of ways of revenue generation that these products try, let's talk about this tweet here real quick. We were talking a little bit before the show. Before we get into this is a more general crypto topic here. Buying back your own token is dumb and should be the last thing you do as a revenue generating protocol unless you've explored all their options for revenue expansion. If you have to buy back, don't burn it, LP it. Buyback and burn is the biggest psyop in crypto. For the love of God, diversify yourself away from your native token and expand your product suite. So this guy is the head of advisory at Blockworks, David. He's got this.
So he's legit.
This is my financial advisor, bro. This is my consultant. This is my consultant. I pay him $250,000 a year. No, what do you think about this, Drac? Is that true? Buyback and burn is the biggest psyop. It's stupid to buy back your token and burn it.
I mean, I actually kind of agree with this. I don't think you see it quite as much now, like the buyback and burn meta. But, I remember like that used to be such a big thing. Like if you didn't have like any idea like what your token or project was doing, you would just be like, oh yeah, and we buy back and burn the token and it's gonna like make stuff just like pop off. And that's what we were discussing before the show, was like the funny part is that I've just never seen even projects that base like their entire whatever on burns from buybacks. It's just like I don't think it ever actually like really hits that hard in terms of like price, or it's like the only thing that really matters is like that formula of what makes the token go up on the DEX. So I think it's more of like a marketing, I don't know, like a marketing gimmick or whatever. Really what's funny is I think the only thing I've really seen where it makes like a lot of sense to me is like something like eggs, where it has like, they're burning tokens, but there's an actual backing. So as they're burning the tokens, the S backing is rising. Probably the only thing I've ever seen though. I mean, seriously, Fallout says, doesn't Pancake Swap do that? Doesn't seem like it's helping. No, I mean, it's just like I said, it's kind of like a meta from last run. I mean, like they do that with BNB as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, that the reason eggs would work in this manner is because there's a backing for it. So it's like burning the coupons that are redeemable for, it'd be like burning bonds or something. Well, not even, that doesn't make any sense. What am I talking about? It's literally like burning the coupons for redemption, right? So
yeah, I mean, that's like probably like the only thing I can think of where it actually works. But when you're a project that makes people happy, it's like something that, there's not a lot going on.
Shout out to Mr. Clean in the chat.
Hey, Mr. Clean. I don't know. So yeah, I'm kind of against it. I agree with this guy where like basically what he's saying is don't burn it, put it to work. Like at least LP it, if you're buying back your token. But really, I think the smarter move, and most people probably do this now, is just like, if you have revenue coming in, just put it to work like for real, have it earning yield somewhere, borrow against it. I don't know, something, just, do anything. But, this like burning tokens deal, it's just a waste of money, I think.
Yeah. It's another one of those things, I think, when we think of crypto marketing strategies, it's going to be left by the wayside,
Yeah, I just feel like it is kind of just like a relic from last run where somebody somewhere started that and it became like a big token meta, and it's just still hanging on there. But yeah, I mean, like I said,
in a similar vein in terms of like how people think about price and how it works in crypto, I guess like one thing is, a lot of people I think probably think that buyback and burn is like a superior version of like stock buybacks or something, when it's like completely different, because it's it's completely different assets, but similar to what we're talking about. I found this Martin Shkreli tweet where he's like, holders do not determine prices, only the last transaction price matters. You can't make a stock price go up by holding. At best, it will work for a day or two. The supply comes out if price goes up. This is the dumbest thing retail was psyoped into. An interesting case here, and it's kind of similar. When we're thinking about how these markets are working, it's important to remember it's about the flow more so than, stagnation, right? It's the order book that determines what the price is. It's not. If we're all just sitting on it, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much sums it up perfectly, where it's just like, I mean, whether you're burning it or holding it, what matters is, are those buys still coming through? So yeah, like the price can't go up if people just aren't constantly buying.
Moving on, this is not really Sonic related, but this is another kind of like conceptual thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh man, wow.
Which is Base, saying that Grok launched a token on Base. You can ask Grok, like we could do this right now. We can ask Grok, did you launch a token? Did you launch a crypto token on Base? Did you launch a cryptocurrency on Base? And it's gonna say, no, I don't do that.
No.
Yeah, see, no, I didn't. I'm Grok, an AI. I can't launch a token. I'm Grok, an AI. So why Base would do this, I don't know. They just, I guess, assume that you would. This is what they think of you, dude. This is what Base thinks of you. Okay, they think that you're so stupid, you're not going to do the most bare minimum research into this. But Gronk launched a token on Base thanks to BankerBot and Clanker's trading mechanisms.
Yeah, I don't really understand it. It's very like, I don't know. I think they kind of missed that they had done that about 7-8 weeks ago. Maybe that would have gotten some traction, but kind of feels a little like like a little it's a little icky.
Yeah, the pool's a little slimy to be jumping in for this right now. I feel like DeFi is still the safer bet right now, especially with the markets looking how they're going. Right now, here's my thesis for why DeFi is better right now, is because I could still be accumulating some kind of asset, right, in a broader sense without having to just dump capital in. Right, I could be borrowing, I could be LPing, I could be accruing DEX tokens, I can be accruing eggs, whatever the fuck, right? And I don't necessarily have to risk as much of my capital up front as I would if I'm just buying the Grok token. Okay, like what are the chances that the Grok token is going to do well if we get this market bounce back? Not so great. I could just LP USDC and make a crap load, dude.
I mean, that's honestly why, Sonic has been so great for me, at least, is like, pushing DeFi this hard, with more DeFi stuff going on than, I mean, definitely anywhere right now. It feels good to be able to like be a little lower on the risk side. You're not just having to buy a lottery ticket and hope it, 100x's or whatever. I definitely prefer to be just like looking around for DeFi opportunities, good yields, putting the money that you already have to use, not having to worry about, if it's going to go to zero, like immediately. So yeah, I mean, it's a great time right now to just be, farming, being comfy on Sonic, I think. So many things you can do and, so many things still coming, but, yeah, I mean, like think about what we just went through in terms of metas, where this like pump fun retail meme meta. I mean, like I said, that's literally all it was like, you're basically just buying lottery tickets, hoping something hits. There wasn't like a ton of stuff with like fundamentals that you could just be like, oh, I'm going to accumulate this and I know eventually it's going to go up. It was just pure like speculation. Of course there's, in the scope of things, handful of things you could, do what I was saying in terms of like, oh, like this is a solid protocol or, they're doing something in DeFi. But if you think about it, it's like few and far between, spread across so many chains, and that's how I felt in the bear market. I was like, I had to go to this chain to do this and this chain to do this. And I had money on this chain earning this. And that's what I've like loved about Sonic, is just being able to like bounce around like directly just in the Sonic eco. And so many things complement each other, in terms of like, oh, you can borrow here and stake here, or, go to rings and you're earning on your assets that got wrapped on rings. And then you can still take those and put them into DeFi somewhere. So yeah, definitely feeling pretty comfy right now, feeling better than many. I've seen already some horror stories about, people being like, I was in this meme, or I had all these gains and on the dip, I bought this meme and it already went down 90%. I can't fathom that. You know what I mean? If you grinded through the entire bear market, you have some money, you've made a little money on some memes, and then you lose it all right now. It would just be, I can't imagine.
Be absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal to be losing it all on memes right now. Speaking of memes, do we have any update on the meme thing?
The meme mania? Yeah, I mean it. They did say it ended. I'll pull up the board, but I don't think the board's accurate anymore because stuff's been changing since it ended and it's still up. But yeah, it did end. They're working. They have a 2-week period to kind of like tally up all the numbers and everything. Make sure everything's legit. And then we got 1 million OS coming. So hey, even if we are about to go sideways for a couple months, we do have the meme mania stimmy coming, and it has shown through every competition so far, when those stimmies drop, it's usually pretty good for projects on the network. So,
oh yeah, wow, my cat really loves the camera. Crazy. What is she doing, dude? Anyway,
but
yeah, we're looking forward to that stimulus.
Yeah, we need the stimmies. We need the stimmies now more than ever. So looking forward to that. I mean, I think that'll be a nice day for sure with everything that's happening right now. Um, you know, there is actually like huge news that we're just now talking about. We probably should have just already been, this should have probably been front and center
What is it? What's going on?
because there was, pandemonium over the weekend. But when Sonic was coming out, they talked about all the new Andre primitives, right? And we finally got one of them coming soon. Flying Tulip.
Flying Tulip.
New Andre project.
What is Andre smoking on, dude? What kind of kush is Andre smoking on Flying Tulip?
I mean, it seems pretty interesting. Now, before anybody gets too excited, they've said repeatedly there will be no token to ape. But I think what they're working on here is still important, and I think it's still going to be a big deal. Place the trade at the core of it, but the idea is that they are going to like focus on giving high yields to LPers. I think that's kind of like Mendoza says, this is not easy to understand. Yeah, there's a lot of what's the word for it? I mean, there's a lot of posts with formulas and graphs and everything else, but I think kind of at the core of it is like, LPers are going to get taken care of. There is kind of like a sentiment in DeFi often where LPs just don't get enough. They're taking higher risk than just about anybody, and they don't get enough. So you're looking at like high returns on LP. There's also some kind of like leverage component where people are going to be able to like trade off of like, I guess like you're going to be able to like have decently high leverage off of LP positions. Also, I think the big thing here is this adaptive curve where based on like what's happening with volatility and the market, the curve actually changes like in terms of like how it like, how much fees it gets and, who gets what. So there's like a lot to unpack here. Another thing as well, I think this has been very important to Andre, and I think it will be important to other people as well, is part of this is that they want to have like institution level kind of like compliance and features for, institutions to like interact with it. I think that is important when you're looking at, if your focus is bringing a lot of liquidity, I think this is like an interesting approach. Obviously, Andre's a huge name in the DeFi space. So that along with, this focus on like compliance, I think could be a big deal.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to what that compliance means for us users. Like what this app is actually going to look like and how we can use it. I imagine the UI is going to be slightly different from a typical LPing platform for that reason. But I don't know, dude. Does anyone in chat know calculus? Anyone out there good at calculus? Maybe you can, decipher these runes for us. I say that when we're looking at a simple bar chart, makes me look like an idiot, but those equations. But
yeah, and this is kind of like a interesting, little chart here. It's showing, I don't know how much money this is based off of spending or whatever. But it's showing here that if you spend, I guess, X amount of money, or you had, so much LP or whatever, what you would earn on Flying Tulip versus Uniswap, Curve, and Balancer, which is just pretty insane looking at it this way. And they do all this with still maintaining lower trading fees.
That's crazy. What kind of sorcery is this guy doing here? We got to get Andre on. He's got to explain this to us.
Yeah. So
in simple terms.
Yeah. Like I said, there's all kinds of numbers and figures and math and graphs, and, you could get pretty lost in it. But I think at the core of it, what you're looking at is just high returns for LPs, low trade fees, and institutional friendly. That would be my main takeaways. And I'm sure there's more than that, but I would say those are the big ones.
I like this institutional approach. How would you feel if Sonic really did become the big institutional change, Dracula? Do you think that'd be good for us? Oh, small fries? Would we be getting
I think for
destroyed?
sure. I mean, you know, obviously, as we've seen with like DeFi Llama, like watching the TVL, this stuff brings attention. It brings eyes. People see you climbing up that board. They want to know what's going on your network. I think having really large institution flows is something that really not a lot of people focus on in crypto in general. So I think this could be huge. I mean, I don't think there's an L1 that kind of like has this kind of like, you know, offering basically. So it's a bold move really. And I think that, you know, yeah, it could definitely pay off. I mean, no matter what, inflows to the chain are always going to be a good thing, a great thing. But, you know, like I said, it's going to bring eyes. It's going to bring people that maybe are playing somewhere else come to Sonic. And then, you know, once they get into the ecosystem and they start playing around with some of the protocols and see what they can earn there, it's like there's no way they're going to leave. I had that on a post recently with somebody that was it was a big KOL kind of account, and he was talking about, you know, why Sonic's good and this and that. And it was kind of off the mark, the things he was highlighting. So, you know, I said, hey, well, there's also this, this, and this. But I said, most importantly, you know, if you come here, you don't leave, period. And I've already seen that with people that kind of came in at like the hype of launch or, you know, this last little run up, and they're already just like, yeah, I mean, they're here. They're not leaving.
Yeah, you get trapped by the Sonic, you know? I mean, you get trapped by Goggles. Goggles corners you when you come in. You can't leave the room anymore. You get trapped in the Wendy's bathroom, as they say. Now, we're getting kind of close to the end of the show here, Drac. I actually have one other thing I wanted to say about that. I wanted to say this. It seems to me that DeFi Summer is being brought to life exclusively on Sonic. Maybe I'm crazy. No, actually, things are happening out there. I'm not going to name names because
yeah, I mean, of course, there's things out there, but it's like
I know what's up. My bird is getting buttered on, but no, I mean, definitely the bigger things seem to be happening here on Sonic. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I hate, you know, I feel it's corny to talk about like the one-stop shop or whatever, but that's kind of how it feels right now. Is like I said in the bear, I just had to go. I was probably spread across 10 chains in the bear market, you know, that I was like using like every day for certain things. So I think that's like I said, that's why people I think don't leave is like, you know, there's not better yield that I know of anywhere else right now. And anything that you need to do like with your crypto, you can do here on Sonic. You know, there's not like everything's like it's already the suite is already pretty complete and there's only more coming. So yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean, even if you know, I wasn't in Fantom and in Sonic and, you know, been around like, you know, it was already kind of my home or whatever. I don't see how like as a person that's super invested in DeFi, how like I wouldn't end up here regardless.
Yeah. It seems like it's the natural place to go. Just with the amount of tools available, right? It's like, why wouldn't I go here if I'm engaging in DeFi? There's just too many, you know, it gets everything I need done, right? I can lend, I can borrow, I can LP. I can do even freakier, creepier stuff. Freakier and creepier. Speaking of getting freaky, do we want to talk about Drewski getting creepy or do we want to stick to the Sonic Network? We should stick to the Sonic Network. We can talk about Drewski getting freaky on our after hour show.
Yeah.
We should talk about real quickly our last segment of the show. You want to go waifu for waifu? You want to go AI for deity for AI for deity? I don't know how many you have. I don't know if you have any. I
got three.
Oh yeah, let's go Aphrodite for Aphrodite, dude. Let me show you. All right, look, I'll play one card right here for you. Tell me what you think about this, okay? She's a scientist. Wait, she's a scientist, okay? What the fuck? Before presenting, I gotta remove media.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay, I see. Now, what can you say to this? Tayana Solverin, dude. Can you top this? Doubt it.
I don't know. I guess well, maybe. I'm not positive here.
Well, she's lawful neutral, bro, and she's a drifter. And her breasts are large. So good luck. That is not likely gonna happen, dude.
That is my favorite part of, you know.
Okay. Whoa.
You know, yeah, we're going, you know.
I see something that might be a little.
Oh, well,
NSFW.
I can't believe. Yeah, we
And
might
she's
have.
evil.
We might have already killed the segment there.
Dude, I hope the Sonic Eco account doesn't mind this, but this is in the Sonic Eco, baby.
Yeah,
Hey,
but look, I've already lost the game here.
Well, look, some people go for that. You got 5 stars though. I feel like that kind of does top me here.
Yeah, there's got to be this one. Maybe is more wholesome.
Wow, she looks like a character from League of Legends. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about this one? How about
this one? Is surprisingly clothed. Very.
Okay. Well, how about this? You can't beat this, dude. She's got a mace, bro. Look, this is like your. I don't know what these broads are for. I think it's like a game eventually, but I just like looking at them, dude.
I think eventually there is a game. I think, or they just launched the NFTs knowing that people are going to get them.
Obsessed with AI waifus. Now, we should get the dev on maybe. I saw him posting about this. He said he's heads down. He's working on the best RPG narrative experience you could imagine. I think you assemble a party of your AI Aphrodites. So if you don't have one, I think the minting is over. So you have to buy one, but good luck because I don't think anyone's going to sell their waifus at this point.
Yeah, hate to see it.
Yeah, she's lawful evil though. I like that. Terran Sapien. All right, yeah. Well, here, look. I'm going to show you my last one here. I got 2 more.
How many do you have?
I got 4, dude. I told you. Look, I went and bought all the biggest breasts I possibly could find. I pulled them off the market. This is a market play because I know people are going to want them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
Dracula's so ashamed of me right now, but we'll see who's laughing in 3 months. Okay. When I flip Alira Castine, I'm doing some Andrew Tate shit here. You know what I mean? I'm trafficking.
Oh man,
anyway,
yeah.
That's what I've been up to on.
Surely, yeah. This is like what you've been busy on Sonic, so that's good.
As you can see, I've been assembling the perfect team.
Yeah, Fallout says never sell.
Yeah, you're right. I should rent them. Anyway,
well, yeah, I think that's about all we got today. Appreciate everybody hanging with us. So, yeah, first time coming live from the Sonic Eco X account. We will be streaming from here from now on, Tuesdays and Fridays. And we keep alluding that we have a mystery third host coming. He's going to be here Friday, so he's going to probably only join us once a week, but should be nice for the show. So yeah, I think it's something you guys will enjoy.
And bring your freaking pad and paper. You're going to want to take notes, kids.
Yeah, get your kimono out, get your coffee, get ready to learn.
That's right. Just like your class, get your kimono, get your coffee, and get your notes ready.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, folks, for joining us on our new streaming platform. The Sonic Eco account will be here same time, same place. Well, actually, Friday, we're doing a different time, right?
Yeah, Friday will be closer to noon.
All right. So noon EST.
We'll let everyone know.
Friday. Be there. Till next time.
See you then.
GMSONIC is Corval and Dracula Presley. GM.